Sharing live with to you. I am hearing the children in the background. They're rushing to leave the house. Hey, blessed rising, everybody. I think we are on. Yes, we are on the live. Here we are on YouTube. Greetings, everybody. Blessed Sunday. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. It's always awesome to be able to join you guys. This is the House of OFC, where we get together on a weekly basis just to talk that spiritual talk, to raise the vibration and to raise the energy. I am grateful to be here. I am Pharaoh Hamid-Freeman, founder and director of the One Full Circle OFC community, and I'm joined by my team here from the OFC. So we have our brother Ibo Han from Connections. Brother, if you want to give a quick introduction.
Hi, my name is Ibohon Idanije, aka Connections, and the founder of Connections, as well as the co-founder of United Explorer Special Needs Program here in Montreal. Shout out, blessings, enjoy the sun.
Blessings, thank you. Nice having you here. And Brother Ika Ibra and Sister Kes Festa, if you guys want to just do a quick introduction, let people know who you are, who you're representing.
Okay. I'm Hefesta Shanzumut, and basically it's about talking about humanity, our humanity, how we connect with each other, and I'm a member of KEPTA, commissioned by Google, the royalty in Burkina Faso.
Blessings, glad to have you with us, Queen. And Brother Ika Ibra.
Yeah, same here, Brother Ikebra, always there for the community. Same path of initiation I went through the knowledge of the dons, and happy to be here to answer questions and bring about all of the knowledge that can be shared.
Brother, glad to have brother and sister. Glad to have you guys with us. And we have Love Oracle, who is probably going to be joining us in a little bit. But we are going to dive in. So as you guys know, so what to expect for today, what we normally do here at the House of OFC. We'll start off with just some music just to raise the vibration. We'll chat a little bit about the musical selection, and then we normally have a clip that we play, and then we dive in. So actually, because we're going to continue on a little bit of a series that we started last week in terms of discussing the calendar. So today we're going to start off with a clip from our brother Naba Lamusa. And he is the Kemetic high priest and a master healer. He's the founder of the Earth Center. So we're gonna play about a 10-minute clip from him. It's an introduction. So, and for those who were watching last week, I was having a hard time starting from the beginning. This week we're starting from the beginning. So we're starting off with his introduction and everything, and then we'll deep dive into conversation after that. All right. So with no further ado, let's play the musical selection, and then we are going to dive in. Switch screen. Are you guys hearing okay and seeing?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
The books in their hand, saying, show us the rivers, please show us the land. And we, with the hearts of the warm summer sun, we welcome the strangers, we didn't see the gun. They wrote in their diaries, they measured the stone, they smiled at our children, they sat in our home. We offered them water, we offered them bread, but they were counting the gold underneath where we tread. It was psychological warfare, dressed up as a friend, the beginning of a story we didn't know then. The explorer mapped the mountain and the mineral, The missionary mapped the spirit and the mind. The merchant mapped the market and the capital, and left the freedom of our fathers far behind. They told us, look up to the heavens, let your worries stay. While they were down in the dirt, taking everything we made, they said, turn the other cheek, wait for the promised land. We closed our eyes to pray, and they stole the sand. No, the ancestors didn't fail. They were ambushed by grace. They brought a war in a smile to a peaceful place. Before we could even say amen, the chains were already on the wrists of the men. God loves you, they whisper. Just love all your foes. While the mercenaries waited to conquer the roads. Don't worry about the earth, your kingdom is high. So we stared at the clouds, and we stared at the sky. We were waiting for the trumpet, waiting for the cloud. While the cannons in the harbor started blasting out loud. We were outgunned, outnumbered by a quiet deceit. Betrayed by the hospitality we laid at their feet. They took our forgiveness, they took our embrace, and used it as a weapon to conquer the race. The explorer mapped the mountain and the mineral. The missionary mapped the spirit and the mind. The merchant mapped the market and the capital, and left the freedom of our fathers far behind. They told us, look up to the heavens, let your worries stay. While they were down in the dirt, taking everything we made, they said, turn the other cheek for the promised land. We closed our eyes to pray. No, the ancestors didn't fail. They were ambushed by grace. They brought a war in a smile to a peaceful place. Before we could even say amen, the chains were already on the wrists of the men. So dry your tears for the elders, they fought in the dark. They didn't know the diary was leaving a mark. But we have the history, we have the sight. We know how the shadows operate in the light. If we see the blueprint of how it was done, if we see the shadow of the incoming gun, and we still let them divide us, still let them reign, still let them reign, then we are the failures, we are to blame.
Oh, give thanks, give thanks. That was profound. Hey, bless, 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 bless. So, Brother Ibrahim, let's talk about it. So, this track, what was the inspiration behind this track? What did we just listen to? Who did we just listen to?
It's a selection of music from a group. It's different people who come together and put together, and it's not a specific one person. It's a group of people who come together by knowledge, and I'll get the name for you later. I'll post it on the group so everybody
and
can see.
Well, as I'm seeing here, I can just the platform that it's subscribed to, or we can encourage people to subscribe to, is Usoela.
Yeah, Usoela. Exactly.
And the name of this track was The Blueprint Afro Soul.
Exactly.
So if you guys want to definitely check that out. It was the energy was dope, but the messaging, what was what did you get from the messaging?
Basically the blueprint. the blueprint, there's a blueprint there where he's saying, like Bob Marley said, Bob Marley, emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free, underline the word, free our own minds. So, so this is basically the blueprint. You cannot change anything except you understand the blueprint of how it was done. While we were, as in our ancestors, why open-minded and just joyful and celebrating, other people had strategies.
Mm.
They had objectives. So we live as if it's just open. I think even up to this day, we just go out and we're open-minded people, kind of joyous people, and we don't understand that there's a big strategy behind everything that is happening. So the message is saying, like, if we allow this to happen, then it is us that have failed. That's what Bob Marley was saying. Like, if we don't emancipate ourselves from mental slavery, there's nothing that can be brought again, no matter how much a person reads or what a person does. If you don't get the message that the power lies within to emancipate oneself, then we are not going anywhere. So this is what my brother and I would talk about all the time. So to be clear-minded, Bob Marley said, just be good.
Well said, my brother. That is so heavy, and I think we do have a responsibility, but it is a interesting balance because as being spiritual beings, being beings of love, being beings that have a certain heightened understanding, and I think we had spoken about this a couple of weeks past, where it's like, how do we function when we know better? And a part of it is that I don't want to say that turn the other cheek, but it's like because we know better and our level of consciousness is higher, there's certain energies that we won't take on or combat with. Like we won't get aggressive in the name of spirituality. We won't start to fight you in the name of spirit, right? But then that also means that we actually have to be humble when people are attacking us almost because we know more to be like, all right, we understand where you're coming from. We understand where your mind's at. We love you anyways, right? But it's like now, how do we manage that delicate dance between being humble, being understanding, and not being taken advantage of? Like it's something where we just lost Brother behind, but I'm sure it'll pop back in. But anyways, it's something that I want to plant that seed because I know it's something where it's like we want to ensure we're not being taken advantage of. We are a lot of times we have a certain heightened sense of understanding, so we know a lot better. Um, and it's like we want to lead with love, but sometimes it's like, yo, we want to lead with love, but we want to protect our peace at the same time. Right? So it's like, anyway, so it's about finding that delicate balance and just trusting spirit. Did you guys have anything else you wanted to add to that before we go on to the next segment? And Queen Taja, you're here. If you want to just, as you're here, you want to just give people a quick shout out before we dive in to our next segment, Queen?
Yes, hey, how you guys doing? I'm Taja Love Oracle, and I am so grateful to be here for another beautiful Sunday with this amazing crew. Let's get it.
Yay, beautiful. So, like I had said, so if we have no other feedback concerning the top of the show, I'm gonna play a clip from the beginning of the DVD we're watching. So you guys, we're currently taking clips from this is a production that was from the Earth Center, so I want to properly give the credit where the credit is due. So this is a documentary that we had purchased from the Earth Center Lecture Series #1. It features Master Naba Lamusa Noro Deng Nibig. I hope I'm pronouncing that wrong. Okay. And it's the sidereal calendar and the traditions of time division. And traditional time division. Okay. And again, we scratched the surface last week and it was completely mind-blowing. Again, we spoke about like a real year having 1,400 and I had to write it down. Hold on. 1,000. You guys know I keep notes of everything. Hold on. 1,461 days is 1 year. Okay, like these are I take school notes, hey guys. When I'm doing these things, I keep it 100. If I'm trying to retain it, you got to write it down. So so that's what it is. So that's supposed to be 1 year, and that was the first like wow moment for me. But there's tons of things. So. And in all transparency, guys, we're going with the spirit. I load up the clips and we watch and then we discuss what we get from it. All right. We'll watch about 10, 15 minutes or so, and then we're going to come back. So you guys sit back, relax. I'm going to share my screen again. We'll watch a clip of this and we're going to come back and dive in. All right. There we go. Sound is on. Screen is shared. You guys are seeing him. It's buffering. Give it a second. It's a DVD. Give it a moment. Mhm. Oh yeah, and I have to change the speed. We're gonna go 1.25, I think. Okay, it was working before, so let's go. Let's give it a quick moment. Hold on. I'll etch it up a notch. Suspense. Okay, well, what's happening here? Hold on, guys. Give me a moment. A little technical difficulties at time stop. Yes, I am on the right one. Play rate is fine. No, I don't want to skip it. I want to play it. Okay, we'll go stop. Seems to be. All right, let's go.
Developed on our own. What I mean is based on what we have
Hold on.
exposed to. So you see,
Okay, wait 1 second.
on one moment, what you think, oh,
No, it can't be tripping like this.
that is your knowledge, your search, your finds, like this, is first determined by who put it there
Hold on.
for you to find it.
1 moment, guys. Hold on. I don't want this thing stuck in the starting place.
Entering this world is really, I use the term political perspective first.
Okay, here we go.
It has every component of the human life
Okay.
within it. So that's the reason why we can't wait for everybody to be here, to get here. So we're going to start.
Perfect.
We're going to start now. Saying again, welcome for everybody, and
This is nerve-wracking.
I'm going to ask you to kind of really exercise.
Okay, maybe it's because I'm trying to change the speed. I'm gonna just leave it to run at this regular speed.
Very, very open mind. Believe it or not, this
This is
topic will end up challenging you on many grounds. Our discussions will go from the spiritual field to the astronomy, the politics, the culture, and hopefully we will have enough time to do all that. What we're going to do now, we're going to start maybe from the political perspective first. We have to start from the political perspective It's because, let's face it, politics is what makes this world. Politics. You like it or not, whether you agree with it or not, you would have to accept the fact that even most of the decisions we make, for better or for worse, are really based on our ideology. What that means is that what is good for somebody is first determined by how they perceive it. And then what makes it a serious matter is that how we perceive things is a concept that is not developed on our own. What I mean with that is based on what we have been exposed to. So you see, on one moment, what you think, oh, that is your knowledge, your search, your finds, and like this, is first determined by who put it there for you to find it. So you see, so a human being entering this world is really, I use the term disadvantaged. He is disadvantaged by the fact that maybe those who were there before him could purposely put some things or take some things out, depending on how they want you to live your life. So that's why politics hurts humanity. Politics hurt humanity. Just like how when you have your kid, whatever you want them to become, you start setting them up when they are young. And then later on, they find themselves thinking whatever they're fighting for, that they came up with it, that they thought it. They, are so smart that they figure it out. And they pass over the fact that those who were there before set it up to be this way. That's why politics is a very dangerous thing for humanity. So, what I just said can be seen on an individual. But it can be seen also people, races, you name it.
I feel what I'm gonna have to do, because it seems like when I'm just watching it, it plays. It seems like when I'm trying to share it, it lags, but I don't know why. We're getting the gist of what this first piece of what he's talking about is making reference to, because he's making reference to the political involvement in the shaping of humanity and the negative of what it has caused. I think that's a topic that we can actually discuss a little bit about. And what I'm going to do, and I apologize everybody, because it's like when I watch it, it's rolling, but for some reason I think it's just when I'm going live, maybe it's pulling between the internet and the DVD player. So I think I'm gonna have to rip it, have it native on my computer, so then I could just play it instead of running it from the DVD. So I will take the homework of doing that next week, but we could start to unpack at least a little bit what he spoke about there. Like, although we only spoke for a couple of minutes, he's already bringing reference to some of the things that's impacting us as a society right now that we could unpack. And mind you, again, not to over big it up, but I'm very excited about sharing the content of what he's talking about, because he goes very profound. Like, just from what I've seen, the deepness of what he's coming about, it's going to be amazing when we all get a chance to properly dive into it. So if just within that first couple of minutes, although it's a little bit broken up, we still get a gist of where he's coming from. We know where he's going with it. But if you guys are comfortable with it, we can start to already dialogue a little bit about what he's talking about, and we get to go from there. We're a spiritually led group, so we'll just go with the energy, so to speak. So first, I want to give the floor first off to our brothers and sisters, Ikariba and Kesta. Sorry, I hope I'm pronouncing it okay. Just to speak on the from you guys' perspective, from working with the Earth Center as well as now the new KEPTA, if you guys could share a little bit from that perspective, from the political standpoint, what he's making reference to. Like, I again, surface level, just off what he's saying, like we could understand where he's coming from. But if you guys, with the insight that you have, don't mind sharing a little bit, and then we could go into a little more detail on the topic.
Yes, thank you. Absolutely. Um, that was Nebnala Lamusa Modo Denebik. From the bloodline of the Nabas, who are the keepers of the knowledge. And by knowledge, we mean thousands of years of knowledge. And one point he's introducing is really important. If you want to assess or know something that's out there in nature, uh, relying on you need to rely on something that's stable. All right. By stable, it means something that doesn't change by the moods of people, by the decisions of groups of people, whether they want to identify themselves as let's say Africans one day and the other day North American and so on and so forth. So that's one important thing. Why? Because uh, you have got to approach knowledge and nature in with a total honesty, right? So honesty is really important when we talk about spirituality. All right. So uh, the spiritual world and nature in itself is bigger than you. It's been there before you. It's still gonna be there after you leave, and even after probably your children will leave. All right. So approaching such a knowledge that's so big requires from us to be disconnected from all of the biases that we may have. And one of the biggest biases that comes out of uh, 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 knowledge is that which originates from the society, because we didn't invent any language by coming here. We didn't invent any, let's say, concepts in itself by coming here. We kind of inherited them, but not knowing what we inherited puts us in a position where we are subjecting ourselves to a huge bias in terms of understanding what nature is. And that's why it's important to start with that big bias and its root, which is politics, meaning the dynamics of power that are there. Those power starts with our parents, you know. So mother and father, they start, they give us what they know or what they believe, you know. So it has nothing to do with certain, good and bad things. It's the way things are, right? So we need to make sure that before going towards the path of enlightenment and going towards the path of enlightenment, which requires knowledge, we see what are the ambushes. And one of the biggest ambushes is what we've been exposed to. Sometimes we need to make sure that what we have been exposed to is relevant to the subject. So yeah, that's one big introduction, and that introduction in itself explains a lot about our human nature. So yeah, that's how I can introduce that piece of knowledge.
Thank you for that. And also, I'll give my 2 cents, and then if anybody else also wants to chime in with any questions or comments, um, because yeah, like what I take away from that, what you're sharing there is like what is the root of where the knowledge is that we're kind of building on or clinging to. And I think the example you just gave in terms of our parents, like if I think about my upbringing, I came up more religious because of the influence of my mother and my father, right? And then as I grew older, and then I started seeking something different that was actually outside of my parents, like outside of their understanding and their interests. Like they were, they were kind of set in their ways, whether my father who's Muslim or my mother who is Christian, they were in their own they have their own beliefs, their own understanding. So this concept of kemet, this concept of spirituality, this concept of, I am one with everything and I am God in human form and we are an example. This is something completely different than what they have kind of been led to believe. Now, in my question, I guess, to all of us, in putting myself in the mindset of those who might be following us or listening to what we're saying and or who are also coming from a spiritual, is how do we differentiate? How do you know the difference? How do you know where the true root is? Like we're talking spirituality from our understanding, and again, like we know a certain what we could consider an ultimate truth, but what is the ultimate truth if life is tailored to the individual? Like life could be what you make it for yourself. How do we really determine what is ultimate truth, and how do we know when we're following the right path or not? So that's a question I'm putting out to the collective of everybody. Yes, Queen Tasha, if you want to chime in, be awesome.
Yes, brother. Oh man, well that question right there was one that I had to ask myself. And so it was for me to get onto the journey that I'm on now. It was one that I had to really truly develop, and I realized it's not something that you're going to find from outside. You're not going to find it in a book. You're not going to find it in a recording. The main key and the way to be able to really tap into this thing is to listen. Like really listen to yourself, because each each individual is moving off of their own beat. They are moving off of their own journey. And so, we can put it in a broad base and say we need to do this or we need to do that. But when you really listen to the cues that form in you, if they're feeling good to you, keep going. If they're feeling like guilt, shame, anger, frustration, any negative feeling, then you already know Once you feel negative, it's not for you. And if you just start moving in that essence. Because when I tell you, I wake up every day and I listen. I listen to what to put on. I listen to what to eat. I listen to where to go. I listen to what time to go to sleep. I listen to every cue. And when I tell you, like, if say I decide that I don't want to wake up right now, and I fall asleep, and I'm like, forget it, I'm just going to sleep through this alarm right now. Oh, because I know I have something at 7 o'clock every morning. My body jumps up by 6:30. Hello, you know you have something to do, right? Like, get up and get up now. And every time I look at the time, it's like, okay, I'm giving you enough time so you can get up and get yourself together so that you can still do this purpose. So if you guys just really just listen to yourself, stop second guessing and stop, oh, well, I wonder if I should. And maybe if once you're doing that, you're not listening. Once you're having any overthinking or anxiety over it, you're not listening. If you just hear it, go left, just do that. Go right, just do that. That voice in your head is very directed, very commanding. It's not very sugar-coatery here. It tells you what to do, and if you listen, you'll be on beat every single time without fail. And you're not hearing anybody else's voice but your own. So that's all you got to do. That's what I've been doing. And I'm not going to lie to you, baby. It works much better than listening to anybody else.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Brother Iban, I saw you had put your hand up. Thank you, Queen Tasha, for sharing. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. So what sister was talking about is trust. I don't know if you can hear me, but it froze.
Yeah. Yeah, we're hearing you. Oh, yeah, it is freezing slightly. But I'm not, is it me that's frozen? No, okay, I'm seeing you, Tasha, I'm seeing you. Okay, so Ibrahim, I think it's you that's frozen. That's process of elimination. It's like who is not moving? Whoever's not
Yes.
moving.
One of these things just don't belong here.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll give him a second to come back.
Yes.
You
But
know,
you know what he's saying there, with it's faith, it's trust, it's acknowledging that you're hearing a voice in your head and really just moving with it.
believing it. It's
Just
it's like
believe.
not second guessing. It's
Yes.
and I give people the example all the time, like when you are at a certain point where you trust in your non-physical guidance, you trust in your spirit, and you trust that when you speak, it's going to act. I always give the example of a crossroad. You might not know what's what, but when you're at that crossroad and you say, you know what, I intend to go the best way for myself, left or right. You pick one route, just go without even thinking, just go one way or another. And trust me, as long as you trust in that spirit, you will know if you're going the right way. It's not going to be a psychological thing. It's going to be like, oh, everything in you is like, oh, go the other way. You like just pick one way. Don't think about it. Just from when you put out that intention, because your spirit has a responsibility. From when you ask, it will respond. It's just a lot of times we're not paying attention or we're not listening, but we don't know how to hear it. But
And
you will
brother, you
feel
know
it.
what? Sometimes it's not even waiting for you to ask a question. Sometimes it's just freaking telling you too.
Facts.
I can give you a perfect example. One day I walked out my friend's house. It was winter time, and everything had iced over a little bit, right? So you know how the walk is. And I heard go left, direct, straightforward, go left. I stood there and I started contemplating. I don't know if I go right, then that's a little bit of a shorter walk. You know what I'm saying? If I go left, and I'm doing all this contemplation, and I heard again, straight, direct, go left. It got a little bit louder. It didn't just want to be unheard. It wanted to be heard. Go left. I still made the decision to go right. Because who can't hear will feel. You know what happened when I went right? As I stepped down, I slipped on a piece of black ice and sprained my ankle. I was out for 2 years. 2 years. 2.
Damn!
Go left. If I would have just listened.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I give you another example. I was on a boat, and I just heard move. Today, I listened though. And I just moved out the way because I was holding the door. And how I was holding the door, the door jamb was right in the middle of my face. So I'm just behind the door, just holding it while everybody passes. But I heard move. And I just slid from behind the door and moved. As I moved, a guy fell into the door, boom, with his whole entire body weight. First of all, I would have cracked my whole face open. I would have fell off the boat. And I can't swim, so I would have died. I wouldn't even be here talking to y'all. But I heard move. And something in my spirit said, hey, yo, if you don't listen to this right here, it's going to be a problem for you. And my whole spirit, what was that move about? And instantly, so you have a choice to listen. You do have a choice. Now, if you don't listen, you will pay the price. Because who cannot hear will feel. And that's why we feel so much.
Facts. So I guess we'll continue until Brother Ibrahim comes back. But so going back to the original point, the that Master Nabab was planting there is right now we would be living a completely different life experience if it wasn't for the powers that be deliberately setting humanity off on the wrong path. Right? We would be living differently, right? Now, sometimes I ask myself, why is this happening? Why do we allow it? But then at the same time, it's like I'm asking the question, but I also know that everything happens for a reason, and we do go through like what we call quote unquote tests or challenges. They are here to help us to evolve. We know that we have freedom of choice. We know that there's no flukes or coincidences. So whatever is happening is meant to happen, and it's happening in a particular order. So even if in our perception we're like, yo, why is the spirit allowing this level of chaos, so to speak? Everything's in divine order. Everything has to happen in a particular way. So we understand that. Brother, you're behind your back, good. So we have to understand that, but it still doesn't or actually I should say, well, the reason why we do this is because we're now coming into a time on the planet where our consciousness is waking up. A lot of us are realizing that, wait a second, we're being misled. Where before, like these type of conversations of is it possible we're being misled as a population? We weren't having these kind of talks. People were almost blindly, gladly following whatever religious beliefs and following whatever politics was feeding us. Now we're at a point where our consciousness is awoken. The powers that be are also aware of this, and that's the other thing too. They're aware that there's a particular time in the universal time that we would be waking up. Thank you. And in my opinion, that's why they try to do their best in terms of burning the books, in terms of destroying libraries, because they're like, as soon as you guys wake up, you're just going to go back for your knowledge and you're going to understand who you are, what you are, and come back into full, in full power, and not power in a negative way, but those, they're fearing their life experience. They're fearing the end of them. So they're trying to not let us live because they think it means their death. But at the same time, not to go too deep down the rabbit hole, coming back to the point, we do know that we have been misled. We've been duped. So now we're here. We're awoken, and it's time to I guess it's time to take a different path. It's time to start taking that right path. But for those who are skeptical, I'm here for I'm here for those who are woken up and who just wants to know what to do. But at the same time, I have love for everybody, even those who are still somewhat sleeping. Okay, so that's why I ask these questions sometimes, just to ask the questions that they might want to ask, right? And so for those who are a little bit on the fence and who are hearing what we're talking about, like, how do we explain this? How do we explain that when we talk about what we're coming with, from the Truth of Kepta or from the Earth Center and different things, like the origin of the calendar and the time, how do we make this make sense? I'm putting that question out there. I know there's levels to it, but I'll plant the seed and let's see where we go with it. Yes, Sister Tasha.
The only thing I see with where we're at right now is a repeating of a cycle. Right? It's like seasons. You know what I mean? Summer, winter, all the 4 seasons. We have to go through these what they call ages. You know what I'm saying? We have the golden age, we have the bronze age, we have the iron age. We have ages that we go through in our fundaments and in our thinking. Right? So, when they talk about like the age of Aquarius and the age of Pisces, and they talk about all these things, they fall into that calendar line that you're speaking of, with that 4,000 years, right? And then as you break into an age, it breaks down into like, I think it's like 2,500 within that 4,000. So like all the numbers to me personally make sense because I guess I live my life by these numbers, right? But right now we're in a transitional phase, right? If we look at the 400 years of enslavement, right? We look at the 40 days, right, and nights that they had to go through in the desert. We look at the 4,000 year calendar. It's all bringing us back to the same energy. We might have broken the numbers down, but it's still bringing us back to that same evolutionary shift within our own mindsets so that we can start to understand our own power here. Because we keep looking outside in some sky and something waiting for some real true answer to hit us. And if we just listened, we have all the knowledge, not just 1 year, not just 10 years. We have all the knowledge of infinite knowledge written on us. So we just have to keep moving in that enlightenment. And for me, we're just repeating the cycle. If I go back to the 10, what was it? The 10 Commandments, that one, bringing it back to the Egypt, bringing it back to them having to go through the desert. And that's what we're doing right now. We're literally having to go through that phase of releasing of the thinking. And remember, when Moses came off of that mountain, what did he do before the people got the tablets? He broke them. So we've been in a spiral, not getting the knowledge that we were supposed to get for the last, 4,000 years, because the knowledge that was given to us was broken before it even gotten into our hands. So right now we're literally just scrambling, trying to figure it out on our own, and then waking up each other as we go. But it's a cycle that we're in. And if we could just understand the cycle within ourselves, then we'll always be on beat.
Ooh, well said. Something came to my spirit, but I'll see if anybody else has something else they want to chime in and add to. Hold on. I'm going to remove this pin. Okay.
Yeah.
Did anybody have something you want to add to that point before I give my 2 cents?
Yeah, I'd like to add something kind of really important, like it's like for traditions, it's important to make sure that we know exactly what we are talking about. Last time when we were just discussing, I insisted on the fact that it's important to know that words are important, right? And they actually mean something. And putting words onto things has helped us as a community in order to work with our environment. All right. So what has been really helpful for communities, societies, and civilization is making sure that we are able to have a common understanding of things. That's one of the reasons why in the modern world we tend to see civilization as a community that brought about a script, a way to write down things, because now we are able to say that through our communications, we are pinpointing the same issue and the same solutions, and we can work together in order to evolve as a community. So that's one important point. Once you want to make sure that you set a meeting with your brother and sister, you want to make sure that they come on time, right? So now comes the concept of, okay, what about my time? I didn't want to wake up. I felt like it wasn't my time to wake up, but the meeting still had to come about. What are you going to do about it? So making sure that we are standing on the same ground
in order to build as a community was really important. And that's one of the reasons why a calendar is also important, right?
Mm,
Now it's about not only helping us meet with ourselves, our like kind of human self, but it's also with meeting with the divine world. By divine world, I mean, is there on, well, in those invisible world, are there timing where it will be more preferential for you to meet this type of energy, right?
mm,
So that is what's behind the calendar as well. To be precise on those meeting time. All right. So let's say, for instance, you heard a voice, right? Telling you, get on the train right now, or get off the train right now. You're not sure, okay. How can you verify that? Verification is really important in terms of spirituality. Not only being able to listen to the voice, but also to verify, you know. So there are moments, timing, where you'll be able to verify because you'll be exposed to, let's say, that guardian angel that helped you figure out that the timing was this and that. In our culture, traditional culture, we don't necessarily call that entity a guardian angel. We call that an ancestor, right? So that type of meeting with ancestors are really important, and that's what really help us having the right timing all the time. Because we are not in control of the time. We're not the one who have set the big agenda of time of when we want that divinity to come. It's as if we were saying, "Oh, I want that mayor to be there on my time. We want that minister to be there on my time." It doesn't really work that way around. It would have been good if if it was the case, right? But we are inserting ourselves in a system that has already got its order. Because I really pinpointed that word that you mentioned, Pharaoh, an order. There's an order on which if we want to take your vision, if you want to take your projects, if you want to take your own destiny into your hand, you better be working with an order that will help you do that. So that was one of the things that I wanted to insist. Of course, those voices are there and they mean something, right? But there's also an order we are getting into, just like a child, you know. He's like 1 year old and he decides that he wants to use words the way he wants. That's okay, but he will not be inside of the order of the way things are done in the family, right? And the family has their own culture, they have their own principle, they have their own values. And learning those things is also what we can call being initiated, learning those things
mm.
first. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna add.
Oh, wow, well said, brother. Well said. Okay, let me lower my hand. So I'm listening to you. Okay, and I see you, brother Ibrahim. So I'll say my point, and then I'll cede the floor to you. Um, I took a couple of notes, and even just that last part you just said, because in terms of us having an order, the first thing that came to me, and it's not, we're not divided by race in any in that kind of way, but one of the things that came to my mind is culturally, that we see how the Chinese are with their children, some of the Jews and stuff as well. They ensure that they are coming up in like understanding their culture. So despite being in the province of Quebec, for example, where Quebec is very heavy on their culture here and making sure people understand, some of these other cultures make sure that there's a Saturday school where you're going to go and understand about Chinese cultures, Chinese roots, Chinese practices, Chinese traditions, right? And there's a reason for that, because it like that is a part of their evolution, their spirituality, how they structure their worlds, and you see that. And I think it's something to be said that those who are more of a melanin dominant, hue, so to speak, like where we're coming from, or more, you can even say of African descent, because we're so huge and so diverse and all over the planet, we have various different cultures and there are various different ways. But if we are able to feel it, we know that we're grounded in a particular truth, right? We're grounded in a particular connection to this planet, right? And I think that is one of the things that once we grasp that essence, I think it's going to make another difference for us. And quickly before I hand the floor over to Brother Ibrahim, what was coming to my mind when Sister Taj was speaking, as well as Brother Ikiriba, is I'll just say how I have it here. It's let the dead bury the dead. And we know that expression. We've heard it on many, like in religious books. My desire, so to speak, to want to speak for those who are not awoken yet, it's coming from a place of love, but it's not necessary for where we are right now, is what's coming to my spirit. It's like that expression, let the dead bury the dead, let the dead bury the dead, is not in a negative way. It's just that, like, it's not their time yet. And we are here for those who are awoken, and we're not doing anybody any favors by diluting message, by trying to dumb it down, by trying to it's like basically those who are awoken for a reason, and they need some information, and we have it. And it's better that we double down on what we know is truth. We educate those who are here for the education and let them flourish and grow, and those who are not there yet, it's okay. When they are ready, the information will be available to them. But that's just what's coming to my spirit as we're going through this conversation, which I'm always grateful for. And I'm super appreciative of you guys who are around the table, because it helps us to, to sharpen each other and help each other evolve. Brother Ibrahim, I'll cede the floor to you. Go ahead. Wait, brother, I'm not hearing you. I think you're on mute. Check. Testing. No, not hearing you. We can see you, but we can't hear you. No, but it doesn't say you're on mute.
We can't hear you either.
You wanna try to just leave and come back? Maybe the audio is stuck in nothing. See, the energy's trying you today, brother. You behind. See? It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, so try to just leave and come back and see. Maybe the audio is stuck somewhere. Okay, cool. But yes, did anybody else have anything you wanted to chime in after what I had, the last thing I had just shared? But it was coming, it was coming to me loud and clear. Like, let the dead bury the dead. I couldn't stop hearing that.
Well, that makes perfect sense. Sorry, go ahead, brother.
Go on, Tara.
I was just about to say that, when they say let the dead bury the dead, for me, it really puts it into a straight context. If you're dead within your mind, it's easy for you to pull somebody down, right? You understand? Because we're learning from each other, right? The children are learning from us. We're learning from our parents and grandparents, and it's just a constant cycle of learning. So if my mind is dead, right, then I'm definitely bringing you down with me, and the dead is only going to bury the dead. Like, that's the only thing that we can do, is just throw dirt on each other, because when you start to elevate and you get your mind in a clarity, all of a sudden now, you know what I'm saying? It's just like you bust out, and now people can see you. Now people can hear you, and you really do vibrate a whole different energy. When you start to become awake in your mind, it's like something revitalizes in your spirit.
Well said. Brother Ibrahim, are we hearing you now?
Can you hear me now?
Okay, I think I just heard you. Hold on.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, but now we hear you, but now you sound far away.
Wow, what's going on?
Turn your phone volume up.
Yeah, can it be your phone volume check? Oh my gosh, now it sounds worse. Like,
Is Tell them to check where the source is. Like if you click on the source, it'll show you if it's going through the car, if it's going through the phone, if it's going through the
Oh yeah,
speaker.
maybe
Yeah, I
check.
think that's what he's having an issue with.
Yeah, no, we're not hearing you at all. But maybe it is connecting to your car. Okay. All right. So he's doing his technical tests right now. It's all right. It's all
Oh,
right. Hey guys, we're live. This is just how it goes sometimes. But yeah, so thank you for sharing that. And Brother Kariba or Sister Yes Festa. Oh,
First,
Hefesta.
Gefesta. Thank you.
Hefesta.
Hefesta. So the K is silent. Hefesta.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, Hefesta. That's it.
Hefesta. Thank you. So yes, did you want to add into what we were saying just now concerning either the light in the bed, there, the dead, or where we're going and the importance of our route? Oh,
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a powerful way to talk about consciousness, like being guided by the blind, you will definitely end up on the wrong spot.
mm,
So making sure that you first work on cleaning your ears and your eyes, waking up is important. Elsewhere, you'll just be guided by the flow, and the flow knows where it needs to go. You know,
mm,
and if you just follow it without asking yourself questions, you just follow something that wasn't even in your own best interest, so making sure that you work on your consciousness is actually wanting quality in your life, you know and wanting quality in your life is all about consciousness, like raising your level of consciousness, understanding that it is really important. And the way even our the way we perceive that in the transition is that we even call it's a place where there used to be temples, lots of temples, people coming from all over the world just to learn about things, to raise their consciousness. That place was called Egypt,
mm.
right? By the Greek. So it's kept that way up to now, today, and we call that country agent. But in if when you go to the Kemetic language of our ancestors, it means raising your consciousness. So it's the place where you go when you want to raise your consciousness, just like the place where you go if you want to go to school, where you go to university. So raising your consciousness is paramount. It's essential to this discussion, and having a place to do that is also important because we don't have the same level of consciousness when we come in, and we won't have the same level of consciousness when we go and get out of the scene.
Yeah.
So learning from each other is really important, and we all come with some heritage, right?
Mm.
Being ancestral, or even the heritage of our previous lives, and the heritage that we have of our connection with nature. All of that are reasons why we can learn, and there's plenty of room to learn, because
Awesome.
what I'm able to bring, what everyone is able to bring to the table, will definitely elevate our consciousness as a community. So yeah,
Awesome.
that's really important.
Well said, Brother Ibrahim. Can we hear you now? Drum
Am I
roll.
good? Am I good now? Am I good to
Yes,
go?
you are.
Wow. Took a long time. Took a long time, bro. you know?
Yes,
So
the
yeah,
floor is yours for the rest of the show. You haven't had a chance to talk all episode. Go ahead.
yeah, I'll make it very brief because for me it's very brief. I just want to put it out there that I am a Jesus Christ baby. I'm a Christ baby, straight up from head to toe. So there's nothing I have read in this world but Christ, man. Christ for me is king. Christ is king. So what does this mean? And if you go, Christ lives in those who seek Christ, who seek. I'm not talking about going to church. I'm not talking about religion as it is in the system, the politics, and all those garbage, whatever that is. I'm talking about like, I'm talking about the belief that was the book made for man or the man for the book. You see, the way it is that emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery, because none but ourselves can free our own minds. See, there's the mind is a gift from God, and I am speaking. I don't know for somebody else. I am the son of God. That's my identity. It's beyond color. It's beyond ancestors. It's beyond everything that I've seen on this in this world. So that's me speaking for me. So everybody go to bed different times at night, literally speaking. And when Johnson is still asleep inside the house, he's still asleep. But when Johnson comes out of the house, Johnson is awake. You can tell, oh, my brother is awake. Good morning, Johnson. So I can tell a person who is awake, really awake, because the message that they push, it vibrates the next person back to himself or herself. So all power, by the grace of the Almighty, is within man or woman. So the guidance from God is in the blueprint of God is in the spirit, the living God, the creator. I don't believe that the books are closed. I believe that my spirit is also continuing where our ancestors stopped. I am a living book. So yeah, the power, emancipate yourself from mental slavery, because none but ourselves can free our minds. Have no fear for atomic, which is the man-made construct. Have no fear for atomic energy, because none of them can stop the time. You see? So I believe that when a person you have to seek first. Seek in spirit, seek in thought, seek in action, seek in everyday doings, that which is eternal first, and then everything else will align. It means that my calendar adjusts itself to its own creation. For example, people who have ascended to that level, they know their time is different from people who get up 9 to 5 and go to work. So yeah, I believe the power is within, and anything that points me out of myself to go find my power somewhere else, I don't follow that stuff. So the power is within identity. To know I am the son of God, the most high God, and I have respect for my fellow humans, and I act it every day. And seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and then love yourself with all your heart, love God, and then love your neighbor as yourself. I have transitioned from awareness of my identity to the actions of my identity. So what if from my perspective, if we want to make a change, there's no shortcut to heaven, enlightenment, whatever we want to call it. There's no shortcut. There's no how you want to explain to somebody what is or what is not, except he or she actually seek that and walk the path, which is sometimes tedious. There's no way to just wake up and we are still on the path. So yeah, love yourself, love God with all your heart, and love your neighbor as you love yourself. Go out into the street every day and make a difference in your life and in somebody's life. That is my religion. In practice, not in words.
But now you see, bro, what you just said there is huge. Claps to that, Sister Taj. I see your hand up, so I'll let you chime in as well. My question when I hear this is because the example you just gave to me listening to you is an embodiment of Christ consciousness, is an embodiment of this is what the example is. I think where it I would like an understanding is the difference between that level of Christ consciousness that you're referring to, and when people are more religious, using the same Christ, where they would, and again, I don't know if this is how you see it, and maybe you could clarify, but sometimes I hear people who are more of a religious background claim to be sinners and claim that they're not worthy and claim that they, so that's the part where I understand where they're coming from, but it's trying to understand how that middle.
In the beginning of our conversation, our brother said, like, spoke about nature. Nature. If you can, a person who can deconstruct, emancipate himself or herself from mental slavery, can deconstruct all the BS that is being said from people who are trying to construct whatever. You are left with only nature as it is. And the air that you breathe, the beauty of this world, the ocean that you see, and all these things are given for free. You know what I mean? Is given for free. So the idea that a person can, God does not request you to pay money on Sunday to be the son. Life has been given already. The blueprint. So the idea that you have to pay your way to get to God, first of all, that is pointing me away from myself. I don't have to pay any man or woman. If I give out of my heart. But I don't have to pay somebody to get to find me. I got to look me in the face and look me in the mirror and start to love me. And it's an ongoing thing, day in, day out. I don't believe in when you say, like, they were born, if we were born sinners, why do you have air to breathe? If you were born sinner, why do you plant seed on the floor and it grows? If you were born sinners, why do you give babies? You give birth to babies and they grow. If you were born sinners, it's like you're in prison. The person who is in prison can't go to the club at night. He's in prison. But I am not in prison. The man-made construct is the emancipation, is the trap, is the prison, the idea that I have to find. There's nothing wrong in reading books and understanding. Christ said, was the book made for man or man for the book? The book was just like you, Pharaoh. You can document your life and the way you live your life, and I can read your life and get inspired by what you have done and add to myself. So we think that the answer is just locked up and put back in something that in our head, but we think it's in the past, but it's all in our head. It's all in there. There's no end to life. Be open-minded. Be open-minded and trust your identity. Know your identity and trust your identity. Trust it with, in fact, die for your identity. If it comes to that, that's how much this is. So until a person is able to emancipate themselves from that mental slavery, he can't be free or she can't be free. So the best way to go about that is just try it. Somebody can try it. Try to be good every day. It doesn't mean you have to be perfect. Try to do one or two good to yourself and to do it sincerely with your neighbor, even if you like them or not. Just keep doing good, because at the end of the day, you are doing it for yourself. The more what you do every day, you become. And then they use the word like, but we are not becoming something. We are just, you don't tell a mango tree, a mango seed, what it wants to become. You don't tell that. You cannot. That's nature. That's life. I know it's a mango tree. You can wait to see what kind of fruit this seed would bring, but you know it's a mango seed. So based on our lifetime, we know that a mango seed gives birth to a mango seed. In my field of work with the children, we don't try to tell the children what to become. We observe what the children are, and we give them the environment to become more of who they are, children of God. In schools, that's why I left the school. That's why I left the school system to create my own program, because they're not going to find themselves within the school system. So, yeah.
Hey, well said. Queen Taja, I see your hand is up. It was definitely church.
Oh, honey, my hand was wailing, hailing, and everything, child. It was a supporting actor in this argument. Oh, man. You know what? Brother Ibrahim, I think I used to have a real conflict with Jesus. Like, I had a big conflict with Jesus. Because I felt like they put this man in the place of an energy that it never wanted to be in. But then I started to listen to what Jesus had to, because I was pissed off. I was like, Jesus is a fraud. I don't even want to hear that. And then one day it was just like, ask me who I am. Let me tell you who I am. Don't let them tell you who I am, because they done skewed my whole name. It's like when they call you a liar and a cheater, and because you black you this, and because you white you that, and because you short you this, and because you rich you that, right? We have all these things that we put on each other. And then I started just hearing his words, getting the teachings coming back, just the scriptures coming back. All these things were showing up. And it was, I am that I am. I am the way. I am the truth. I am the light. He was using that power of I am that I am. When I studied Buddhism, the Buddhist concept and the Christ consciousness, same damn thing. Same thing. And what are they saying? You are responsible for what you put out there. You don't have to know when, where, how, who, what. You don't have to know all those things. All you have to do is make sure that when you are putting that energy out there and you're referring to yourself, know that me being the truth means whatever it is that I put on myself, that will become true. Whatever way that I walk in, that will be the path that I'm on. So you can run from it, you can hide from it, but you really truly cannot get away from yourself. And if you start to really just formulate those words, you will awaken, you will find yourself enlightened. You could even just, I am enlightened. And that energy will just start to find its way to you. But the more that you allow yourself to be dead in your words, in your energy, is the more your life is just going to be consistently in a state of spiral of chaos. So Jesus was telling you exactly what to do. And he said, our Father. So if he said our Father, that means he was talking about all of us when he said, I am the way. Because you are, and you can't get away from that. Thank you.
Yo, guys, this is I love this because this is why we're doing this. This is how we're able to represent spirituality in its true essence by being able to speak our truth in a way where people could get it. And that was the whole purpose of us coming together. Yes, I see you guys' hands up, and I'm looking at the time. So we'll do our final words. That time flies when we're having a good time. So we'll give our final words, remind people where they could follow up with us, and then we'll close up in preparation for next week. So yes, brother Ikegeba, I'll let you speak. Hold on, let me change the view. Back to you.
Thank you, thank you very much. Like, really appreciate all of the energy that's totally shared within this conversation. It's uh, it's so necessary, like um, there is a story about a man who was seeking for uh, knowledge and consciousness, and he was looking into books, and he had a big library, but because of the size of his library, he wasn't even able to see what's what in front of his eyes. He only relied on his books, and everything had to be referenced from the book in order to make sense to him. So he missed the point of even being alive. So yeah, so at the end of the day, being alive, means something, and it's important to at least try to figure out, you know, what's what's that which is outside, and what's that which is inside. Uh, uh, how could it make sense for us to seek about quality in our life? Like uh, there's a saying in US that said, the pursuit of happiness. Why would the pursuit of happiness be something that not only is relevant for us today, but was always relevant for every human being? It makes sense to us. Like it makes sense because you wouldn't be able to think about happiness if you didn't see the contrary of happiness. It's not possible. So, what I want to bring in this conversation is that consciousness is also relative to the dynamical tension of energies of construction and destruction, and therefore we have to know that not only construction and destruction exists everywhere. I mean, you grow your hairs, they turn white, they fall down,
Your nails are the same, even your skin. Like we know everything in our body has a cycle, right? So which means everything in life, in nature, even when you talk about seasons, you see the trees grow with their leaves and flowers, and then they die out, and you have autumn coming. So this is something that we observe in nature, but it's also happening like all over the place. So those dynamical forces of destruction and construction is really what we are exposed to in our lives. We don't want to be on the side of destruction, even if at the end of the day, we all know that we all have the same destiny, which is the great, right? And at least we want to make sure that after us, something still remains. And that's what makes us humans. We want to make sure that the heritage, the legacy that we're leaving is used for the people after us. And that's also the message, that comes from, the mysteries of Jesus. Uh, he died, but his knowledge is still living, right? His knowledge is still living, right? So knowing that the story of Jesus Christ has, had a beginning and is still going on, but in the Kemetic culture, we were always already there. We were already talking about that. You know, we just had someone coming using that same message, because we all know that there are stories of someone who came to life, died, and resurrected. It's there, right? And just like our great grandfather called Osiris, we know that as a divine being connected to humans, he came to life as a divinity, but he also was chopped into pieces. And after that, the magic of his wife brought him back to life. And we inherit something of that story also. And that's really what I wanted to bring, because the implications of that story that we call a cosmogony is what came as an inspiration for Christians or Jews or Muslims. And it's not about just bragging about it. It's like historical, and it is also, as you see, the work that has been done with those temples and the pyramids. Even in the Bible, they talk about those pyramids and the temples. And it means that something was there before, and what I wanted to insist is that the thing that was there before is not only great, uh, full of knowledge and consciousness, but it also relates to our own history, us talking here, and being able to see it as our legacy is to me, to myself, something that had put a lot of um, light into my heart, you know, because seeing the depth of the knowledge uh, let me understand, give me the possibility to understand even the spirituality in China, Japan, Islam, and everywhere else, because it has some great roots. So yeah, that's what I wanted to add, and thank you very much. That was my last word.
Well said. Sister, you have something that you want to close with us as well, and then you guys please remind us where we could follow up if we want to find more information about you guys and the teachings that you guys represent.
Yes, what I would like to share with you, it's a quote from Master Nabala Musa Morobenbe. And I'd like to share with you this quote because I find it very much aligned with all we shared today in the path of the elevation of our consciousness and trying to understand our place in space and time to better align. And in a world that is so diverse, where there's different level of vibration, and so the quoting goes as follows. I want to make sure that I quote it right. Be at least a firefly on earth if you cannot become a star in the sky. So that's the final word I'm living.
I love that. That was dope. And thank you for that, Queen. And how, if people want to find out more information about Kepta or the Earth Center, what's the best way to connect with you guys?
Well, we'll be there next time, same
Yeah.
hour, sure. Kepta means Earth Center, but
Yeah.
in hieroglyph.
Mm.
So it's Kepta Earth Center. You type that in on the website, on internet, and you'll see what we're doing. There's also Kepta Canada. That's what we represent here, because we have representation not only here in Canada, US, UK, but also in America, so the beloved land of Africa. Here we go.
Blessings. Thank you. Thank you. Again, thank you for being with us. What you guys bring is a huge, huge value. It's Sister Taja and then Brother Ibrahim, and then we'll close up.
Sister, want to go first or before me?
Actually, well, I see she's not on the screen. So, Brother Ibrahim, I'll let you go, and then we'll have Sister
Sister, I'll
Taja.
come back. Okay, thank you, brother and sister for being here. That's amazing. My closing is this. Good is good. Good is intelligent. Good has no religion. Good does not stay just in one home. Good goes into every home alike. So that's one thing. And then I'll quote Michael Jackson. No one can hurt me now because I know what's true. I believe in me, so you believe in you. So help me say this. That's what he was saying. And I'll quote in there, like, Jesus Christ is life. So he said, you shall know them by their fruits. You shall know a mango seed by a good seed by the fruit that it brings out. So that's one thing I want to say. So for me, it'd be like, no, Jesus Christ said, no one can get to God, but no one can get to the Father but by me. What does he mean by that? He means, like Sister was saying, it's within, the grace of within, to be good and to be nice. So I am that I am. I am connections. That is who I am. My function is to connect, be good to people, and make a difference in this world. And then if people want to get in touch with me based on knowledge and wisdom, you go to connections.gate@gmail.com to reach me. But if you want to know me by my fruits, then you go to UnitedExplorerSpecialNeeds.ca, and then you see the works in the community that we do. Thank you very much. I'm a proud member of the House of OFC, and love all the way.
Yeah, that's what it do. Thank you, my brother. Thank you for being here. Thank you for what you do for the community. Queen Taja, are you back with us? Let's see, if not, then no problem. I will give my my last words, my thoughts on what was just shared. So I made a couple of quick notes. So okay, so one of our things that or something that stood out to me, and again it's funny because I ask these questions just trying to get an understanding, and then listening to you guys I get an understanding. It comes from a different perspective, and I think it's when Brother Ikugiba was talking about like us making sure we're starting on the same ground, we're starting on the same page. It makes it easier to be able to build with the people when we all have a certain baseline of what we're working with, or at least that was what I was understanding from one of the things that he was sharing with us. And then the idea of our connection to nature came out, and I think I had mentioned this last week, and it's like it came again in my spirit. It's that, like, no matter what you might think, your connection with nature is going to be a guide in the sense that there are seasons inevitably. Like no matter where you are, no matter what you're trying to do, like if you're trying to plant in the winter in the ground, it won't work. It just the ground is frozen, it will not accept the seed. It's just no matter what, right? And uh, and that was just one example, but understanding that our connection to seasons, regardless if we know the right calendar or not, our connection to the earth, our connection to the whole, once you really start to vibrate properly, no matter what, you will know when it's the season to plant, when it's the season to harvest, when it's the season to chill, when it's the season to do things. Like it really comes back, really comes down to a natural feeling, a natural energy, a natural, and so that's what I'm getting from our conversations is like that's really what's resonating within me is that we can try, like our goal here is to share that example, but for those who are taking it in, like you will only know when you really know, but you're going to know how it feels based off of your connection, based off of once you really start to reconnect with yourself and you understand and you reconnect with the whole of what is life and what is nature. It's like you understand that not almost, it is inevitable. Like there's a season for different things, and I'm grateful because I feel that the more time we spend together and the more we help to teach this information or at least share the information or at least plant the seed that will germinate inside each and every person's spirit, I feel like we are going to get to a better place. And matter of fact, I'll correct that because as it's coming to my spirit, we are already in a better place. We're just going to come to the understanding that we're here. Because what it is, a lot of times it's our own consciousness that's keeping us away from our reaping our benefits. So because we're still thinking that we need to go somewhere else, we're constantly on this trek of somewhere else. But if we understand that we're here now, our consciousness is awoken right now, we can start living as gods on this planet right now. I believe we're going to be able to do that. So those are my final quick words. Actually, sorry, one more quick thing, and concerning Christ and Christ consciousness, I do feel that Christ in the human form came in different forms in different times on this planet as well for a reason. So I do strongly believe that who Jesus Christ was then, there was a reason for why Jesus Christ came and served that purpose. The same way some people will cling to Buddha and will cling to all the different deities or beings that came to represent Christ consciousness or Christ in human form. I feel in this era that we're in, it's something in me is feeling like we're not going to see a same savior again. I believe now it is really that time where Christ consciousness is going to hit a whole of a people and we're all going to function in a certain energy. That's it, just kind of like how I feel. Who knows, we could see a Christ erect and a person that's just like, yeah, I'm here to be that example. But
I,
you know
I have one quick thing to say, just to add to what you're saying, please, if I may.
Yeah, of
You
course.
know, can you imagine? Can we imagine the first man or woman who ever in life held a grain, the grains that we sow? Because you mentioned planting, winter and stuff. Can you imagine the first person or first group of people who had these grains and had no idea what these things were? So they must have trusted in the great I am, and somehow they must have uploaded or downloaded information to know and have the patience to plant. Who, if you go, I don't know where that is, but go back in time where everything was just only close your eyes and it's just void inside. So who told that person where to plant? So the person must have trusted, and made lots of mistakes up and down, and believe that they found it and documented it. So the great I am, which is the All Father, all information is in that. Nothing is outside of us. Everything is inside of us. So when we watch TVs and we watch movies, we take in information. When we watch nature, when you watch nature and you take the time, patience, day in, day out, and watch nature, you get in energy phosphate. Everything is in there. It's up on the earth. So to arrive at this high level, requires a belief beyond regular everyday belief. There's a knowing inside that a person has to really yearn for that identity consistently, because the power is inside, and with patience and consistency, we already are what we are, because the answer brings a person who journeys from now and go at the end of life, so to say, they remember that the answer has always been in the beginning. You
Yay.
are what you are. That's what it is.
Well said,
For
my
me.
brother.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. All right. And you guys already know, to connect with the OFC, just or connect with us on all platforms. There's a lot of cool and amazing developments coming down the pipeline. So stay tuned, continue to check out ofccommunity.com. Continue to tune in with us on the Sunday. Every Tuesday morning, we have the OFC weeklies at 7:30 to 9. And then we're on CKT 90.3 FM every Thursday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. So thank you guys for supporting. Thanks for encouraging. Queen Taja, you want to give us the final words, and then we will close up.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. I am Taja Love Oracle. You can find me TajaLoveOracle.com and everything underneath that name. I appreciate you guys, and thank you. And I look forward to seeing y'all next week.
That's what it is, beautiful people. So, guys, as you guys know, this has been another awesome session of the OFC Weekly. We're looking forward to having you guys. Thank you for everybody who joined us online. Thank you for everybody who follows and watches after the fact. We're glad to be able to be here. We're sending you guys blessings. We're sending you guys love. We're sending you light. We're sending you the spirit of strength, great health, wealth, and peace. Hotep, amen, ashe, aibobo.